So what's Guru doing tonight?
Yeah, we got paid yesterday, so he's out drinking.
He's out drinking his earnings?
Yeah, he's out drinking his money away after he lost his wallet last week.
Classic Guru.
Yeah, I mean, he lost everything in that wallet. He had his driver's license, his social security card, everything.
And then he called me complaining about it, and I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, he cried to everybody.
Welcome to Season 7 of Big Pick 4, the show where you get the best 4 picks for NFL Sunday games, to include the big Danny D guarantee, the big Brian Buru drunken wallet losing guarantee, the Big O guarantee, as well as the combined, what would we call it, the pesky-eskin Stone Cold Mortal Lock?
I believe that's what was the title last year, if you wanted to change it.
And we're thinking about copywriting that someday. The pesky-eskin Stone Cold Mortal Lock guarantee. Recapping last year, I was your best individual picker. I was the only one of the 3 that picked the Super Bowl correctly. So you know who to put your money on this year. The true expert being the Big O. But we will start with the big Danny D guarantee, kicking off season. This is Super Bowl 50 this year, correct?
51.
Oh, shit. 51. Here we go. Let's hear it, Danny.
All right. And by the way, I'd like to bring up that last Super Bowl in a later segment of the show because I have a question about that. Anyway, my first pick of the year. Huh?
It's all on tape. Go back and review the tape.
No, I just have a question for you. That's okay. All. I'll bring up later. Anyway, my first pick of the year is Houston getting 5.5. I'm sorry. Up by 5.5 at home to Chicago. I think Chicago stinks. They have nothing on that team. Jay Cutler's a turnover machine. J.J. Watt's going to play in the game. I like what Bill O'Brien's building in Houston. Their offense, I think, is going to be a little bit better with Osweiler, even though he's no superstar. But it's going to be better with some of the garbage they threw out there last year, like Hoyer and Yates and the rest of those people who are all gone. He's better than Matt Schaub. They have DeAndre Hopkins. They drafted another receiver, Fuller, and they have another guy, Barrett from Ohio State, who can be used in different ways. I like what they have going on there. And I think O'Brien's a really good offensive coach. He doesn't get the credit I think he deserves. Everyone's off, kissing Chip Kelly's ass, but I think this guy's better. Their defense is suspect, but I don't think it really matters against the Bears. I think they'll be able to cover easily that 5.5 point spread. That's the reason why they can't win by 14 or more points in this game, because I think the Bears are going to turn the ball over too many times to stay competitive.
So the kickoff pick for week 1, big Danny D picking. Oh, wait. I'm looking for the picks.
First foul up of the year. First of many, folks. Get ready for it.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
I thought Brian sent you the picks.
He did. That's why that's why I was surprised. I didn't see them on there. All right. So what was it again?
Houston minus 5.5 at home to the Bears.
And what's the problem with the Bears now?
Everything.
Oh,
They stink. Their defense stinks. Their offense stinks. Cutler turns the ball over all the time. I don't know who's going to run the football. Matt Forte's gone. They have some receiver issues, offensive line issues. They're still a team in transition. They're not going to be a good team. It's going to take a little while for them. They need to get their quarterback for the transformation to be complete. They're sort of like in the same boat as the Eagles, really, I think. But the Eagles are a little bit ahead because they have their quarterback, and they get to find out whether he's good or not. The Bears seem to get to that stage. They haven't gone to that point. They're still trying to rebuild their defense a little bit. But I just don't see it, especially early in the season. Maybe later in the season the Bears could be better. Once guys have been playing a little bit longer, some of the younger guys get more experience. But early in the season, some of these teams are going to be bad, like them, Cleveland, the Eagles. All these teams are in transition, trying to transition from one era to another. It was 5.5 when I checked a couple of hours ago.
Okay, so Chicago, 5.5, yeah. But they still got Cutler, right?
Yeah, still got Cutler, and I think it's a good spread. Win by a touchdown and win the game, so I don't think that's too much to ask.
You're betting on Mariota?
No, he doesn't play for Houston. He plays for Tennessee.
Tennessee. Never mind. Who else Houston got?
They used to be in Houston, but they moved 20 years ago.
That's right. I was thinking of the Houston Oilers.
Yeah, they moved in the late 90s to Tennessee. And then this team came in 2003, I believe. And they got Brock Osweiler from the Broncos to be their quarterback. And I think they could have a decent team. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl or anything, but they have a chance to be pretty competitive.
Is he the guy with the beard?
No, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick for the Jets.
But didn't he play somewhere else too?
He's played a lot of places: Cincinnati, Buffalo, I forget, somewhere else. Like a lot of those crappy teams in the middle of the country.
Why am I picturing a Texans quarterback with a beard?
He might have played for the Texans at one point.
So they got Brock Osweiler, and what school did he come out of?
Arizona, Arizona, I think, Arizona State, one of those two.
And you think Cutler is a has-been, or you think he's going to come back?
He's been a has-been for years. He's terrible. He always loses a critical interception at some point in the game. You know what's going to happen.
Speaking of coming from the Broncos.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's just... The Bears have no choice. They're paying him so much money, they have to keep him there. They can't get rid of him. They would love to have gotten rid of him years ago, but they can't.
So the Bears are going to be a whipping post this whole season.
Yeah, it's a new term now that they like to say. They're going to be a dumpster fire. As to quote the great Ron Jaworski, they're going to be playing a lot of preseason games this season.
So it's going to be like by the end of the season, the Bears are going to be like a college cover. It's going to be like a 30-point cover. Ohio State against Slippery Rock.
I don't know about that. I mean, you don't really see that in the NFL. Unless you have some super team somehow that emerges against a really poor team. But that's pretty rare to see anything over a 15-point spread.
All right, well, somebody wants to say hi.
Hello.
Hey, nigga. My favorite Jew.
Nice.
Nice.
Who are your other favorites?
Where's Brian?
Drunk.
He said, who are your other favorite Jews?
Hallie. I have Jewish friends in New York.
I feel like Larry King with these glasses.
Oh, come on. His glasses took up at least half his face.
I can't even imitate him. I don't have any imitation bits for Larry King. How does he sound?
Houston, hello! Let's do that.
Houston, hello.
Yeah. New York, hello! That was his thing. He had that big fake microphone in front of him and he's wearing suspenders.
I have to get some suspenders.
And then the fake callers from the Howard Stern show would call in and fake stuff all the time.
They'd call in and they'd say something and then they go, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. And he's like, apparently a false caller got through this time.
He'll get through all the time. That was the only good part watching that show. The interviews are usually terrible.
He's like, that was a fraudulent call.
Yeah, he'd get all pissed off. Oh, that caller shouldn't have gotten through. That was terrible. They didn't have a real question. Somebody got fired for that.
And then every time Howard would call in, they would sick Stuttering John after him, and they're like, Larry, what about all those checks you bounced? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, Larry, you bounced all these checks.
No, they just said to call have Slow Adam or Gary the Retard call.
And now he's pimping like diet pills or whatever he's pimping on infomercials, and him and Regis are out pimping dietary supplements or whatever the hell they're doing on infomercials. And it's sad. It's a long and hard fall to include Larry's wife cheating on him.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she's only like 17, so it's understandable.
I'm sure him laying there, he looks like Mr. Burns laying in bed, and he probably has like a sleeping mask on.
You sleep apnea?
That's a big turn on.
He looks like Gonzo from the Muppet Show.
He has like the penis pump on the nightstand.
He doesn't take Cialis. I'm Larry King. I take Viagra. It works for me.
It's like Bob Dole talking about erectile dysfunction. I'm Bob Dole. I can't get it up.
Oh my God. Poor guy.
He's still alive, I think, actually.
Yeah, he is. He's still around, still pen in hand.
Who used to imitate him on Saturday Night Live? Freaking, what's his name? The guy that got fired for saying fuck on the air.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald used to imitate him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, no, my favorite was when Will Ferrell used to do Janet Reno. It was Janet Reno's dance party.
Yeah. In like the blue leisure suit.
Yeah.
With the big buttons, the buttons that were like the size of silver dollars.
Yeah. And then at their last show, she showed up.
Oh, yeah. She tapped him out.
They danced together.
I remember that.
Oh, it was great. It was a great segment.
That was classic.
Yes, it was.
All right, well, let me restart.
Big O or the Big B?
Big B.
Okay.
We'll now have Big Buru, drunken, wallet-losing B, coach quitting guarantee with the stand-in surrogate, Danny D.
Yeah, well, folks, get me again. Brian couldn't make it tonight. We got paid yesterday, so he decided to get really drunk with people half his age. So he's having a good time, I guess. I'm sure he'll roll in a barrel home and somehow make it there without having to sleep in the park.
At least tonight we don't have to worry about him passing out in the snow.
Yeah, there's no snow. It was 95 degrees today.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about that.
He probably won't freeze to death tonight, but stay tuned because it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, he won't freeze to death, but, he might have to battle a homeless guy on the way home. He doesn't like that. Then you have the animals that lurk in the woods that he has to walk through that, plan during the day just to get him.
That's right. The shrubbery that Brian calls woods.
Yeah, the squirrels and the raccoons and the skunks are plotting against him. Anyway, his pick is he's taking Tennessee at home plus 2.5 to Minnesota. Minnesota is obviously the better team. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. I think he's still in love with his boy Mariota, and wish that him and what's his face, Chip Kelly had gotten married and played together here, but that didn't happen. But for some reason, he thinks Tennessee's going to win at home. Minnesota's going to be playing with Sean Hill, who stinks, as their quarterback because Bradford isn't ready yet. He doesn't know the playbook because he got traded less than a week ago, so he doesn't know what the hell's going on. So I kind of see a logic behind that. We have a team where everyone knows what's going on and they have a good system, but still, Minnesota has a good defense, and Minnesota still has Adrian Peterson, the kid-beating running back in the backfield.
It was a switch.
And he still beat the crap out of him, whether it's a stick or a bat or fist. It really doesn't matter. Anyway, all Tennessee do is win. I mean, that's it. They're the underdog here at home. They should be, as Brian would like to say, they should be fired up. because it's the first game of the season, and he thinks that underdogs play better the first week of the season compared to the rest of the season for some reason. I also like to add that it is a gut pick, a pure gut pick by Brian.
That's right.
He consulted his gut, and he thanked it, and then he gave him the pick. So he's going with Tennessee. I have nothing else on that game. Otherwise, I really don't. I don't know what
What's
he used.
Adrian Peterson's drama from this year? Did he show up to camp and all that bullshit?
Yeah, he showed up to camp. He just nothing. There's nothing. He's just older. He's just in his early 30s now. Which is, you hit 30, 31, you'd fall off a cliff. So I don't know what his deal is going to be.
How's Adrian Peterson looking on fantasy leagues? Is he like a high pick?
Yeah, he is. He's a high pick because because there's so few number one running backs in the league anymore. Because everyone uses a bunch of guys to be the running backs. So if you can get a guy you know is going to be the workhorse, you're going to take him. He went in the top 10 in our league because you know he's going to get the ball. And you know he can score touchdowns.
Did he do 1,000 last season?
Yeah, he got 1,000 yards. But, I mean, that's only 67 yards a game. That really shouldn't be that much of a feat. He just, at some point, he falls off the cliff. It just happens. Running backs don't last forever. They don't play like quarterbacks. Just keep going and going. Like Brady and Breeze and these guys are in their late 30s who will be playing for years. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, the other thing is, I don't know who trusts Sam Bradford to win something for you. He's never won anything in his life. He gets hurt all the time. He's never had a winning season in the NFL. He's never been to the playoffs. I mean, I think Minnesota's taking a big risk with that deal, giving up their first-round pick next year to the Eagles for him. But I guess when Bridgewater dislocated his knee and broke his leg in half, they had to do something.
Well, at least they don't have the snow falling in on their stadium on the weekend.
No, the new stadium's made out of glass. They actually had a thing to do studies to make sure birds wouldn't run into it and kill themselves. Can't wait to hear this one.
Now for your Big O guarantee for Week 1, NFL 2016-2017 will be Indianapolis Colts covering and defeating the how do you say that? Woebegone Detroit Lions.
Wow, going against your Lions.
Going against my Lions. It's only a 3-point cover. This is the very minimum. Andrew Luck is back. So hopefully he'll be able to do some commercials and actually play football.
My sheet says 3.5. That go down?
Oh, let me see. I'm checking the line now. No, we're at 3. Yeah.
Okay.
We're at 3, and there's a big issue with the Lions. The old lady came in with her dark glasses and wig and cleared out the front office. The old Ford lady came in there. She wiped out the front office, so we don't know what the hell's going on there. She probably has who's our man there from Detroit? Millen?
You love that story. You love how she came into everybody.
Who's our man? That they had to fire finally? The GM?
Matt Millen.
Matt Millen.
Yeah, who went on national TV and admitted he was a dumbass.
She probably has Matt Millen working in the back office now. She still believes that he was the one, prior to her husband, Bill Ford, dying, who never saw the Lions win a Super Bowl, even going back to the days of playing on Boulevard and Trumbull back in Old Tiger Stadium, converting that obstructed view stadium with columns to a football field back in the day. But you do have Matt Stafford on the other side of the ball there. But He lost his best receiver last year in Calvin Johnson. 1,200-plus yard season last year. So even though the Lions did go 6-2 over the last 8 games last season, I am picking the Colts. They're at home. They're fired up with Luck coming back. And the Lions, as always, will be dysfunctional. You know, who's coaching the Lions these days? I don't even know.
Jim Caldwell.
And who the hell is he?
He's that black guy who used to coach the Colts, and he ruined the team.
Oh, that's right, because last season we were calling him the Black Marty Morningwig.
Yeah.
Because he had that same deer in headlights look.
Yeah.
When he was trying to make a decision on the field.
Yeah, somehow they didn't fire him. I don't know how that worked out. I mean, the dumbest part of it was when he was the coach of the Colts. When they were like 13-0, and they finally, I think somehow some other team lost, and they clinched home field advantage throughout. So he gave up. He gave up the season. He lost the last 2 games, I think, of the season. And then they lost in the playoffs, all because of him, because they lost their momentum. Instead of going for the 16-0 season and maintaining their edge. He was a jackass then. He's a jackass now.
Yeah, so you're going into Lucas, what do they call it, Lucas Oil Field?
Yeah.
In Indianapolis with Luck coming back after getting all that commercial revenue last season and not even playing. So he's got to show up. I mean, he's got to show up.
They have some good players.
Yeah, no, I mean, who's coaching the Colts these days? I mean, do they have a good coach?
Yeah, Chuck Pagano. He's good. Led them to the playoffs first 3 seasons.
Yeah. So, I mean, a 3-point cover is a really sim cover at this point in the season. I mean, that's, you got Matt Stafford there without Calvin Johnson, so he's got to figure out who his new receiver is. He doesn't know who his star receiver is going to be. I don't know what he's looking at as far as his go-to receiver.
No.
So I'll take that 3 points, all day. I mean, I'll get a push on a field goal. Welcome, everybody, for the Big Pick 4 Pesky-Eskin Stone Cold Mortar Lock guarantee, first guarantee of season 2016-17.
All right, the combined pick.
Excuse me.
The Pesky-Esky Stone Cold Mortal Lock pick.
No, we now have a word from our sponsor.
Narragansett beer.
Narragansett. Since 1890, we've been brewing our award-winning classic lager to the original recipe that our founders protected. It's no surprise that the Gansett has been the beer of choice around here for more than a century. If you're not drinking Narragansett, you're not from New England.
Well, none of us are from New England.
Wait. And as always, remember, as always, remember, I'm going to get in front of the camera. As always, remember, Narragansett is made on honor, sold on merit.
It's made in a factory and sold to whoever has $5.
We will now have our Big Pick 4 guarantee Pesky-Eskin Stone Cold Mortal Lock, Game 1 of season 2016-17.
All right, this week's combined pick is Arizona at home, -6.5 to New England. New England is playing Jimmy Garoppolo because stupid Roger Goodell decided to give Tom Brady a 4-game suspension for no reason whatsoever. He had no real evidence of anything. They had fake science. They had it was just a conspiracy. It's ridiculous. So anyway, while he's serving that bullshit suspension, they have to go play Arizona, who's a really good team. This is Arizona's year. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, they're screwed. Apparently, they have 24 free agents on the team. Carson Palmer's not getting any younger. Larry Fitzgerald's not getting any younger. And they are going to have some real issues after the season. They have to go for it right now, and they're trying. If they fail again, as I said, there's going to be a massive turnover there, and it's just going to be a massive failure. So we're going to take Arizona in the first game. They have a good defense. I figure they're able to confuse Garofalo in his first start in the as a professional, even though New England seems to find a way. They get something out of people where other teams might get nothing out of them. Gronkowski apparently is not going to play, which is really going to hurt him. The receivers aren't anything special. The running backs aren't anything special, but New England might still win 12 games this season. But anyway, I just don't like this matchup. The first matchup of the year on the road, Sunday night. I think Arizona's going to come out flying, and I don't think New England's going to be able to stop them. So take Arizona in this game. They should definitely cover the touchdown. I'd be shocked if they win by more than that. I think Carson Palmer really has to come out this year sharp and really have to prove something, because he's not going to get another shot like this with a team this good ever again. The guy's getting towards about to walk the plank here. He's getting towards the end. And if he wants to win a Super Bowl this year, bust.
So who's the Brady replacement? It's not Charlie Batch?
I think Charlie Batch is your age. No, Jimmy Garofalo.
Where the hell is he coming from?
I don't know. His mom.
And what's Brady's suspension now? How many games?
4.
So we went from what was going to be 7, now we're down to like 4?
No, it was always 4. It should have been 0.
Oh, it was always 4?
According to the collective bargaining agreement, the penalty for deflating a football or messing with the air for a football is a $25,000 fine.
What's the penalty for smashing your phone with a hammer? Because I think Hillary did that too.
I think that's like you just have to pay $400 for a new one.
I could see Brady and Hillary smashing their phones together.
As long as they're not smashing anything else together, that's okay.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, Arizona kind of reminds me of the Falcons. It's like they have so much hope, so much promise, and they don't do jack shit in the end. But Arizona did win a Super Bowl fairly recently, right?
Yeah, but I disagree. I think they're better than the Falcons because Carson Palmer's better than Matt Ryan ever was. And they have a good.
I want to hear about the Super Bowl. Well, the Super Bowl was fixed. Newsflash.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fixed. I know you might think the same thing.
Who fixed it?
The NFL.
Well, I mean, I know that you had an issue with the throw with Seattle where instead of running the ball, they threw the ball because that the Jesus factor with the Seattle quarterback. But how was the last Super Bowl fixed? I don't get that.
Because they wanted Peyton Manning to go out a winner.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't want Cam Newton to win.
So how did they fix it? Who did they influence?
Yeah, I guess they could influence the officials. Tell them to call more penalties or something.
Was there a lot of bad calls in that game?
There were some bad calls. They screwed up a replay review early in the game that could have gone in Carolina's favor. I don't know, little things like that. Penalties that it's hard to.
Well, what was the conspiracy in the game last night? Because there were so many calls where they were headbutting Cam Newton that were blatant, concussion type personal fouls.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't calling. So is it that the NFL has a vendetta against Cam Newton for some reason?
Yes, I don't think they like him. He doesn't fit the mold, so to speak.
I couldn't believe some of the missed calls last night.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was. There were a lot of missed calls last night.
I mean, you run into the backfield and you just headbutt the quarterback, and that's not a personal foul?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree. I should have had several personal fouls. There are a lot of hits to the head.
And I mean, it looked like the second half of the game. I mean, Cam Newton looked like he was concussed.
They said he passed the test after the game. They wasn't concussed.
It didn't look good. I mean, there was some, and I still don't understand why you can't tackle a person without putting your head into the other person's head. That's not how I learned how to tackle.
Yeah, look what that's done to you.
Well, you know what? Here's what I did. I hit him low and I hit him hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if I'm hitting them low and I'm hitting them hard, I'm not like butting them in the head with my helmet. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you protect
No.
yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't teach form tackling anymore. They tackle with your shoulder. They don't do that.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like their arms are like flailed out to their sides, and they're just running in and like trying to butt their shoulder into the person. That was the freaking who was the freaking long-haired dude from Pittsburgh that didn't have a long career because of that bullshit? Who was the shampoo guy from Pittsburgh?
Oh, yeah, Palomalo.
Palomar. I was so disgusted at his tackling techniques. It's like he might as well have been a double amputee. He just ran in there and just like flailed his head and his shoulder into people. It's like, dude, you've got arms,
That's a good
And
one.
it's like, seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not how you tackle, dude.
Mhm.
You don't just run and like stick your head into a guy and shoulder with your arms like airplane mode out to your sides, not even trying to do like you say, a form tackle.
Yeah.
Bullshit. And where's Palomar now? It's like,
Who knows?
yeah.
Anyway, I just thought you might have thought the Super Bowl was fixed because you have your theories about Major League Baseball and some other stuff.
No, I just think that by the time that Peyton Manning comes out in the golf cart like Muhammad Ali, that I'm going to be 6 feet under. That's my prediction. I'm never going to see the Peyton Manning bobblehead come out in the golf cart. I don't think I'll live to see that day.
Well, you're not going to see Muhammad Ali in the golf cart anymore.
No. No, but I mean, that was sad, like the last public event he did. But I'm thinking, like, when they wheeled Peyton Manning out last night, I mean, he looked pretty good. Elway, Jughead Elway still looked pretty good. But
Yeah.
I'm like, when's Peyton Manning going to be coming out in one of these golf carts with a cane? Like a bobblehead.
Give him 30 years.
I will never live to see that day. I'll
No, it could
6
be-
feet under by then.
Could be 30 by 30 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Their big receivers are Julio Jones,
Who? Which team?
Arizona.
No, Larry Fitzgerald. They have Michael Floyd. They have John Brown.
Fitzgerald. Well, who's got Julio Jones? Who's he on?
Atlanta. You're
Oh,
mixing
no.
Atlanta and Arizona together. Maybe you should go back to being called the Phoenix Cardinals to be less confusing.
God, I mean, I think that should be against the law. But they have trademarked the name Las Vegas Raiders. By the way.
Yes.
So
Yes, they want to move there.
it looks like Las Vegas is in for a hockey team and a pro football team.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So good for Vegas.
Yeah, if everybody lives there.
So did we leave any meat on the bones this week? I mean, I think we picked 4 good picks. I mean, you liked my pick.
The other game I had some other games. I tried to pick as many games as possible because I never know what Brian's going to come up with. I had another one I liked was the Jets at home getting 2.5 points.
Yeah.
I liked Oakland on the road plus 1.5.
They're at 2 now.
I liked Kansas City at home plus minus 6.5 to San Diego. I think San Diego stinks.
Yeah.
And I liked Buffalo plus 3 at Baltimore.
Why?
Because Buffalo's a good team. Baltimore's terrible.
Why is Baltimore all of a sudden terrible? What happened with them?
The murderer retired a few years ago, so he's gone. And everyone else got old.
Yeah, but he'll come back and give inspirational locker room speeches like Jameis Winston did last week for FSU.
But Ray Lewis is full of shit. I mean, he gives these fake speeches. Remember that nonsense stuff going on in Baltimore last year? Everyone was throwing stuff and burning down.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jameis Winston for FSU. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real one. Yeah, and Mr. Crab Thief.
Yeah.
No, but he was sitting. Ray Lewis was sitting in his mansion on Skype, and he just posted him screaming and yelling in his own house, and posted it on Facebook to try to get the people to stop burning down stuff in Baltimore, instead of actually going out there and doing something. He's just a fraud. He's one of Brian's heroes.
Yeah, well, the the thing is, that was sort of like Kaepernick kneeling down, and then it's like 2 weeks later he says, "Oh, but now here's $1 million donation." Well, where was your donation before you kneeled down during the Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah.
You know, it was, hey, well, that's all you're doing is kneeling down. You're not lifting one finger to help the cause and actually do something constructive. Oh, well, here's $1 million donation. However many weeks later it was. Bullshit. You're just wanting to get your Twitter followers up. I mean, that's all you're doing.
Yeah, I thought some of that was a little contrived.
Yeah, and then somebody said, or I saw somewhere where they said that they think that the Seahawks are planning a big national anthem protest this weekend. They said they can tell from the intel.
They announced it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and the worst part is it's the 15th anniversary of September 11th.
Yeah, so there's going to be a huge fallout from that as well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, anyway,
all right, so we got our picks in. No, don't put that in front of the camera. You'll spill it. So we got our picks in. All right. So what's the big D and the big B?
The big D is Houston -5.5 at home to Chicago, and the big B is Tennessee +2.5 at home to Minnesota.
And I've got the big O at Indiana -3 at home against the Lions. And what's the guarantee?
The Peskeski, Arizona -6.5 at home to New England.
And as always,
score pick 4.
Exit music. About another 15 seconds. All right, Danny boy, have a good weekend.
You too. I just got one question for you.